Close your eyes for a moment and imagine a place made just for you. We at Wayland-Yutani have done just that. Come explore our luxurious Earth-like biomes using state-of-the-art technology developed by Wayland Corporation. We have created perfection. Breathe air fresher than anything you have ever experienced. Swim in our crystal clear waters and experience what the finest genetic engineering has created by taking a simple stroll through a park. What are you waiting for? Come to Paradisio now and experience life.
Our cue. Hi, everyone. We're back. I know you just saw my beautiful face, but we have other beautiful faces for you all to see and enjoy once more. I am, of course, Rindis. I will be playing the storyteller, mother, wonderful caretaker for all of my delightful children here who will definitely not have bad things happen to them. I know I've been saying that for a few episodes now, and for the most part, it's been true, right? Nobody's suffered any lasting damage.
Yeah,
but
we're fine.
Everybody's fine, especially Mitch. Mitch is the most fine out of everyone. They don't go to bed and cry after this game is over.
Of course.
Tears of joy or pain, it's subjective. But we will go around, have everyone have the chance to introduce themselves. And it was brought to my attention that in our haste to get out of there last week, we did not go over experience for the players that were in attendance last week. So we will do that once we have concluded the introductions. So same order as always, starting with ArchivalDustBun.
That is me. Hey, I'm Anna, aka ArchivalDustBun, most places on the internet. Queer and Trans Advocate Museum worker and TTRPG streamer. You find me on Twitter at ArchivalDustBun. And I play almost the wrong character. I play Sarah.
Should have had Janie do it.
Should have let Janie do it. I play Sarah, our pilot, who has not crashed the plane yet and has done a very good job of dodging missiles. I'm proud of that still, even though it was 2 episodes ago. And it's going to have a very fun time this episode with girlfriend. Nothing bad is going to happen.
Right on down to PaladinHulk.
Hi everybody, I'm PaladinHulk, Twitch moderator for Random Tuesday, Little Red Dot, and Polyscripted. And I play Gerald here. I'm something of an administrator, I believe. I'm married. I don't know why you'd be interested in me. I'm just a normal, incredibly rich man doing incredibly rich work. Very, very fulfilling. And that's me.
Over to Mitch.
Hi, I'm Mitch. You can find me on Twitter at Mitchsbustillos. Other than that, you can find me at Terrible Warriors, usually on the channel or Penny for a Tale, and on Kickstarter. So, yeah, I'm excited. I'm playing Juniper, the lovable therapist.
Okay. And since there was the request to always go last, we will jump over to Pope.
Hey everybody, Pope here, Popeworldbuild for Popeworldbuild on Twitch. I lurk in all your streams. It is great to be back here playing Bob. I have a distinct feeling things are about to go wrong. We'll see.
All right, and last but certainly never least, we have a new masked character who I don't know they are, but they certainly have an introduction to make.
Hi, I am a mysterious person that is not Janie. Okay, you know what? No, I am Janie. I'm playing Rosalinda, who, why is she wearing this mask? I don't know. And I'm places online that I do stuff like this.
Excellent. Wonderful. Hey, everyone. Pop in that soundtrack. This is pretty good. Nice and spooky. Let's get experience. So, for everyone that was in attendance last time, everybody goes ahead and marks down 1 experience for participating in the session, because everybody did participate in the session, and y'all did a wonderful job with it last week. So going around in this, going around in the same order that we had for our introductions. I'm just going to go over each question and have you guys answer it. That way we just do them in order instead of just going through the list one at a time. Did Sarah risk or sacrifice something to further their personal agenda?
I don't think I did anything to... I don't think I risked myself to help anybody last week, did I? I don't remember anything happening like that.
I don't think so.
No.
You didn't. You weren't really aware of your vent buddy until it was too late.
Yeah. So no.
How about Juniper? Did you risk or sacrifice something to further your personal agenda?
I risked the respect everyone has for me by letting our pet pal be free.
But did that further your personal agenda?
It did. I wanted that thing to be free and crawling around in the vents. That was especially nice for me.
But I don't feel like you did that last session. You had let it loose a few sessions ago.
What? I thought I did it last session, right?
No, it was running. Yeah, it was running.
Oh,
loose.
yeah.
Yeah, it had been running. It had been running loose for a little while. All right. How about Bob? Did you risk or sacrifice something to further your personal agenda? And we'll actually have to take a moment to decide what your personal agenda is as well.
Oh, I already know what my personal agenda is. That is the preservation and maintenance of the equipment on this colony.
All right.
And yes, I risked my consciousness in both crawling through the vents, getting stuck, and then pretty much going, hey, you are a clear and present danger to this colony, and calling out one of the higher ups, Juniper, for being a clear and present danger to this colony.
Making good friends nice and quickly.
Yeah, just the friendliest.
Apologies for any background noise. There's a helicopter passing over. That's what happens when you live next to an Air Force base. So we got yours. So that's one for you. Rosalinda, did you risk or sacrifice something to further your personal agenda?
Not really.
Okay. Back to the top of the order. Sarah, did you risk your life for your buddy? Or for any other party member? Probably still a big honkin' no.
Yeah, I wasn't really involved in anything dangerous last session.
That's true. You were involved in a lot of things, just nothing dangerous. Okay. And then, Juniper, did you risk your life for another PC?
Nah, that was yeah, it didn't happen. Nope.
That's not something Juniper does ever. All right. Bob, did you risk your life for anyone else?
Oh no. That involves people, not the colony.
Yeah, okay. And Rosalinda, did you put yourself at risk for anyone else? Any other PC member?
I stopped the speeding bus that had a bomb on it. Oh, wait, that's the wrong one.
That's Keanu Reeves. Come on.
Yeah, that's Keanu.
Yeah.
Your new character is going to be Keanu Reeves now.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, please.
Wearing this mask.
All right. So that means back to the order. Did you make a panic roll, Sarah?
Surprisingly, no, I did not.
Not today. You passed all your piloting checks. All right. So that means Juniper, did you make a panic roll?
No, I don't think so. Pretty chill.
Okay. And how about Bob? Did Bob panic at all? A lot of scary stuff happened to Bob, but I don't think you did, right?
Panic is not part of the plan.
Panic is not part of the plan. Wink and a nudge. How about Rosalinda? Did Rosalinda make a panic roll?
I thought I did, but I don't really remember.
Yep.
You
You
did?
did it early on when you were hacking the computer.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I was hacking.
Yeah, that was a real stressful situation, pulling some dangerous files from the science lab that nobody's aware of.
At least they weren't like
It's everybody.
physically dangerous files, with like switchblades and guns.
Yeah. They be careful next Halloween. They might be slipping razor blades into your children's data files when they go trick or treating. So back to the top of the order. Sarah, did you overcome a dangerous event using violent or non-violent means?
I didn't crash the plane.
Didn't crash the plane. I mean, considering the state of the plane, I'll allow it.
That's true.
Yeah, that it was being held on with duct tape, so it's pretty dangerous. All right, how about Juniper? Did you overcome a dangerous situation last week?
I don't think so. It was pretty chill.
You almost got shot.
There was
Oh,
most
yeah,
definitely
that
violence.
guy.
You almost
Yeah,
got
that
shot, and then you
guy.
definitely stomped them to death. So yes, in fact, you did.
It's part of being a therapist. Sometimes you
Yeah.
gotta.
Sometimes you just have to murder.
Client. Yeah.
And so, Rosalinda, I feel that you can piggyback off of that same one because you were there and you did help, albeit not help murder someone, but you were there in the dangerous situation.
No, she totally has a story made up if she needs it about Juniper like jumping in front of her and then rescuing her and being like super heroic.
I did it.
Delightful.
I did it for Rosalinda.
Okay. So, Sarah, did you make a significant discovery or revelation?
I don't have high enough clearance, so I wasn't part of any of the significant discoveries.
Nobody told you either.
Nobody told me.
Some friends,
No.
am I right? Gotta
Right?
recalibrate your priorities, it seems. How about Juniper? Did you make any significant discoveries or revelations while in the science lab? Or just in general on the colony?
We're gonna start testing on workers. So that was cool.
That is a potential plan, yeah. So
No, that's a
it's,
plan.
pretty-
It's what happened.
well, Gerald may have to sign off on that officially, but it is at least the
Gerald?
working plan.
Eh.
As long as they agree, it's all good.
I mean, according to Wayland Yutani, they've already signed away all consent forms, so
Well,
That
yeah,
makes
it's just polite.
yeah.
Yeah.
Alright. I'm sure Juniper will find a way to get them to agree before it's too late.
Yeah.
That being said, Bob, did you make any significant discoveries or revelations?
I think a few. We ran into skitters. We survived running into skitters. We also found a barcoded penal colonist in the vents.
Mhm.
And that's the chief psychologist of the colony is keeping a not fully registered pet and has released it into the vents of the colony, thus risking the lives of everyone in the Hab block.
Yep,
And
yep.
admitted it in front of witnesses.
Admitted it with,
It's okay.
with no real remorse for the damages they could cause.
Or
Yeah.
even the threat of, dock of pay, or, violating their Wayland-Yutani contract and being put in punitive hypersleep.
You know who would be a great person to talk to about that now that they're here? Gerald.
Mm-hmm.
And so, Gerald. Rosalinda, did you make any significant discoveries or revelations?
Well, I did my hacking. I discovered that Juniper is a little bit violent.
It was for you, though. I did it for you.
Yeah.
It just helped you be your best you.
Yeah.
That that our pet friend has a supply of fresh blood in Juniper's living quarters.
Yep. It now knows human blood. And I'm sure that's not going to be a problem. That's true.
I need it.
Back to Sarah. Did you perform an extraordinary action of some kind?
I mean, if you let me count the plane again, it was duct taped together and I flew it back.
Considering how low your experience was this go around, I'll allow it.
Thank you.
All right. And then Juniper, did you perform an extraordinary action of some kind?
I curb stomped a patient.
That's true. I will say murder counts as an extraordinary action.
Yes.
Which by the way, Rosalinda, go ahead and add on a stress for watching someone get murdered. Because that is in fact what happened. And so, Bob, did you perform an extraordinary action of some kind?
Legally breaking into a room through tools and sheer force.
Yeah. I'll allow it because it's pretty extraordinary that you were so dedicated to the task that was set out to you that you said regulations be damned and then broke into a room to complete the task and discovered that there was something far more important than your breaking of a small rule to find a larger rule being broken. So I think the ends justify the means in your extraordinary action, and that's worthy of that. Rosalinda, did you perform an extraordinary action?
Okay, so at the beginning, I hacked my way to a really important discovery. Then I gathered all of my things and got on a ship to move somewhere else. And with only dropping a few things, I made my way to Juniper's and gave them a plan. And then I was involved in this really, really dramatic shootout that ended up with a heroic word that I can't think of right now. It was very, very eventful.
So what I'm hearing is Rosalinda only operates an extraordinary for the whole session, and I'll allow it because that all does really count. Nobody earned any, in quotes, money off the books this session, so that's going to be no's across the board for that. And so we'll wrap it up there and jump into this episode proper, which has us bringing the camera in, time rewinding just a little bit to see what Gerald had been getting up to since the colony, since the ship had returned to the colony. This is just after you all had returned and had the conversation with now head director Vanderstoop of the science facility, she had informed you all, or at least you and Juniper, that Weyland-Yutani had been pulling in prison colonists from a nearby planet, moon, asteroid, something that was established at a nearby facility that was holding prisoners. They had been signing their lives away for a reduced sentence to be experimented on by Weyland-Yutani, unknowingly being used in experiments that resulted in what will become off-screen xenomorph experiments. We got our first establishing shot of a face hugger wrapped around a colonist inside of a vat, and then you all had, and then you guys had terminated the existing experiments to start fresh with.
Did we?
Colin. Yeah, one of the, I think Juniper had given the okay to flush one, because there was a scene where we described the test tube being liquefied and slurried out and dumped into the jungle. That definitely isn't going to go into the water supply that the giant sloths drink from. Cough.
Revolt.
But so we see what does Gerald do once the ship has landed and the security forces are taken off to be given medical treatment, and everybody else kind of filters off to go handle their own affairs for the rest of the day.
This would still be the day we did the hostage thing, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're coming right off of that because you finished the hostage negotiation and then went to drop Rosalinda off at the science facility, but then it was decided that she was going to go back to the colony with you guys.
Yeah, we're playing ping pong with her. Like, I don't know, we don't want her. You take her. Okay, fine. Gerald is going to take a bath because this was a stressful day in which he had to climb on a plane and do hostage negotiation, which is super new to him. So he's going to unwind by taking a bath in his quarters. And that's where he's been for most of the last session.
All right. So he has this time to take a bath, and Pope, I'm going to give you the option of, do you want to have a moment to reach out to Gerald because he acts as the colony liaison for most administrative stuff, or I can have an NPC step in and meet him first, just kind of giving you an opportunity to meet the last member of the group, or I can just continue with Gerald. Because you had a few complaints to bring to his attention. It was just a now or later sort of situation.
Yeah, to sort of, for myself and for our audience, do a quick little flashback. Like after the admission of guilt and disregard for the safety of the colonists by Juniper, Bob hightailed it at speed, and I think he's headed to see the person right before the exec, because just
that's me.
He can't get access to the exec. No, hell no.
But not without a lot of
probably.
paperwork.
Yeah. But Gerald should be available.
Yeah, and you know Gerald is very much the opposite of the colony manager. While she's very hands-off and handles things in a more administrative fashion, Gerald is a very hands-on people person. So you will always see him moving around the colony, interacting with folks and helping them find what they need to do or get back on their tasks when they're not doing so. But you know that he lives in Hab Block A, which has more of the luxury domiciles for the execs and people of higher ranking like him. And so it's not hard to find where his residence would be. And Gerald, as you're enjoying this imported Epsom salt and bubble bath, There's maybe some candles and cucumbers over your eyes. There is a sudden chime sound of your doorbell being rung.
A visitor. Oh, this is terrible timing. And I'll get out of the bath, do a quick little get dry, robe, and hurry to the door. Because it might be important, I don't know. So, towel on my head as well, and I'll open the door and say, yes? Oh, Bob. Oh, hello.
Hi, Gerald. I hate to interrupt, obviously, your relaxation time, but I'm afraid a clear and present threat to the colony and its operations has come across my view.
Oh, the pirates call again? I thought we had that handled.
No pirates. Pirates would be easy.
Oh, good. Well, come in, sit down. I would make you something, but I'm afraid I don't have that much. That's a lie. I do. I should get you something.
You don't need to give me anything, sure. Thank you. But...
No, you've got to be polite. You're a visitor, after all. Just make yourself comfortable. Maybe not that chair, though. So, yeah, this one, yes.
All right, thank you. So there has been a containment breach in Hab Block B.
We have containment?
Yeah, between outside xenobiological agents into the colony.
Oh, like the weird things from the jungle have gotten in. Oh, that's terrible.
I don't know if it's specifically from the jungle. It seems as though Juniper has a pet that they have in front of security and myself admitted to.
Yes, the dog thing.
The
yes,
air vents.
And it's gotten into the vents, you say?
They purposely let them into the vents.
That's interesting. I wonder why. Did they mention?
Pretty much because they can. Was
well.
The impression I got. Not that
Pretty sure you could quote that.
Here you go. I got you an apple juice. Hope that's okay.
Thank you. That's a clear violation of contract. That's releasing a foreign biological agent into a Hab block. If we were in a more secure facility, that could be seen as a terroristic action by the company.
Well, Juniper is our friend. I don't think we should go quite that far. What happened to the creature? Did you kill it or capture it? What happened?
No, the skittering thing is quite evasive. I was able to get 2 security agents to try and help me corner the damn thing, but it's still on the loose. Oh, and apparently something from somewhere, I don't know how the stowaway got in, but probably through the hangar. But we have a penal colonist that was also running through the vents.
Oh, I heard about that earlier today. I know just where he belongs. He should go into the scientists over in the science. Okay. Well, did you hand him over to security? Have those people running around?
We took him straight to the marshal's office when we found him.
Oh, good. I'm sure that's handled then. As for the creature that Juniper put into the vents, I'll just sign a little order for you to handle that however you see fit. I would suggest you, but I don't want to impose my view of the thing. Do whatever you feel it's comfortable.
It's a biological threat. I'm hoping to try and requisition a burner and just incinerate the damn thing.
Oh, that's good. That's such a good idea. Do be careful not to, set anything on fire, especially in the ventilation. I'd hate to get smoke into my apartment.
Well, it's Hab Block B, so each Hab block is sealed and contained.
Right.
I was figuring on, like, tuna casserole night, I could try and do a bug hunt with security again, and then just, vaporize the damn thing.
You think it might lay eggs? I'm not quite sure, like, it's a dog, but it's also a cockroach, so...
I don't know. I'm not a xenobiologist, but I do know that it's big, it's incredibly fast, it's aggressive, and it is a clear and present threat to everyone living in Hab Block B. And it's been purposely released by someone under contract who is threatening the bottom line of the company.
It's threatening the bottom line just because it's taking you a little while to catch it? I mean, that's really your problem, Bob. I mean,
biological threat, Gerald. Biological threat.
It's just a little doggy. I feel we're being a bit extreme calling it a biological threat.
Bob, you remember seeing this thing. It's not just a little doggy.
It's like a chihuahua.
Chapter 2 of Charter. No, this is clearly filed under a biological threat.
Well, you're authorized to get rid of it however you see fit, so that's good for that. And I'll have a little chat with Juniper, just to explain why we're getting rid of this little doggy. And I do hope you'll get over your fear of dogs. But I do intend to have more dogs on the colony at some point, and it'd be a shame if you just consider them all terrible threats and burn them all. So try to work through that.
There is a difference between a dog, Gerald, something that is specifically a canine, and something that has been gene spliced or is a native of a hostile, currently still being terraformed planet.
Well, yes, that is true, but you're really going to have to, get used to the whole gene splicing thing. I mean, if you were to visit the labs, it's a wall-to-wall gene spliced things there. So, you're bound to see a few more of those.
Off topic, Gerald.
Oh, it's my robe showing. Oh, I'm terribly sorry.
No. Embarrassing. On a getting used to it, has there been any requisitions for military grade goods, ammunition?
Let's have a quick look.
Material?
I put my pad. Do you have it?
No, I do not have your pad.
Oh, there it is, and I'll look up in the pad. What did you say you wanted? Military things? Like what? Like a grenade launcher?
No, well, hopefully not. But say small pulse rifles, as well as increased volume of plascrete. Stuff for making certain that the colony's machinery and hab blocks are reinforced, given that there is robust scientific pursuit on this planet.
There really is. What is the result of my search to find if there's any military gear?
Looking through the inventory that is currently on staff, there is not a whole lot for the colony. The security force, I believe we said they were outfitted fairly well with their engagement to the pirates, but they also got their butts handed to them pretty soundly because they are not colonial marines. Wayland Yutani, of course, employs their own private security on this colony, and they try and keep the marines out of it if they can, because you guys are pretty far-reaching as far as a colony goes. They were outfitted with the pulse assault rifles during that assault.
I'll show Bob the pad with the information. Well, nothing extreme that I can see. Our security forces are, well equipped with as much good as that did. But
during next quarter, you might want to talk with your wife about just hardening the current colony against.
Oh, you want more weapons? Oh, I thought you were worried about people having guns. Oh no, you want more guns?
No, I'm worried that if there is science happening and one of their subjects managed to escape and make their way all the way to the colony and then slip into the hangar, that means that's
probably just a fluke, criminals.
Bob. There are no flukes.
There really are. Things go wrong all the time. But maybe this one penal colonist was something of an escape artist, a cat burglar type. You never know.
That's why we put prisoners on penal colonies. We do not bring them to HAB colonies. But the company is obviously using them for something.
Oh, so yes. Aren't they wonderful, giving them a chance to redeem themselves? Cutting their sentence a bit shorter. Second chances are important, Bob. Just because someone committed a crime once in their life doesn't mean we just toss them away.
At the mention of committing a crime, Gerald, your data pad goes off. And
I got a message.
It's a security alert for the HAB block that Juniper resides in. It appears that there has been a shooting and a subsequent death of a colonist, and you have like a little square in the corner that has like a count of everybody who's there, and you just see population 290 something because a couple of security people died, and you just see the number drop by 1 again. So it looks like there's been a death within the colony.
Bob, there's been a shooting, and you wanted more guns? I don't know, Bob. I don't know about that. This is going to require pants, and I'll get dressed.
This is going to require pants, so
that's
our quote of the day.
I'll let you deal with the shooting, Gerald. Thanks for at least sitting down and talking with me.
Oh, anytime, Bob. Anytime. You're always welcome here.
And yeah, I'll just see myself out. And
yes, but Bob, perhaps to get the creature, you can use one of those giant metal traps that goes clink. Always thought those were really cool. Do we have any of those?
The colony requisitioned any bear traps.
Ah, darn, that's disappointing. But perhaps in your spare time you can just get one together.
Actually, that does bring up an idea. Maybe next quarter you can requisition some pulse mines. Something to
pulse mine. Is that what they're called? I would have expected them to be, boom instead of clink.
These are for anti-personnel purposes.
Bob, we're not hunting people, we're hunting little creatures.
Just making sure that there's a minefield between the colony and the jungle sounds like a good idea.
I do like that. I'll put it on the list. And I'll make a thing to talk to the wife about pulse mines.
Just lifts the orange juice. I'll see you around, Gerald. Thank you.
Yeah, enjoy that. You can keep the glass.
Walks out, gets out of the HAB block, tosses the orange juice, and heads back to HAB block B.
Yeah. Gerald, you go back and you collect some pants and get dressed, and you were having such a good time in your bath, and now you have more work to deal with. The report shortly comes in once you are about to step out, and you see that Marshal Bravestar has filed the initial incident report. It just says a duress engineer had attempted to shoot Juniper. at their domicile, and the subsequent altercation had resulted in the engineer's death.
Well, that's unfortunate. I'll go check on Juniper immediately.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Juniper was taken into custody too, right? Believe so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were taken in for questioning, and so we see Gerald arrive at the security office, and there are a couple of the recovering security officers who are now just kind of doing desk work now that they can't go on patrol, at least for a little while. You guys just got back from that altercation. Usually when you're in a firefight, you have some time to recover so that you don't suffer from any lasting PTSD. But Weyland-Yutani, of course, allots only a couple of hours instead of weeks for that recovery time. So they are just doing some simple desk work for the time being. When they see you, one of them looks up and they say, good timing. It seems that Marshal Bravestar has taken Juniper back into one of the holding cells for the time being while we sort out what happened.
Oh, yeah, that's probably a good idea. There's no telling how if there's any other people who want him dead. Can't be too safe.
I can't imagine why anybody would want the doctor killed, and they just...
Yeah, we don't have a lot of doctors around. Got to be careful.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, who else is going to talk to all the people with psychiatric problems? Me? I am hardly qualified.
Yeah, all the security officers in the room all take a side glance at each other, and one of them just into their cup just goes, anybody else?
Anyway, where is he at? Which way? This way?
Yeah. I'll walk you down, and they.
Oh, thank you.
They walk you back, and
while we walk.
We see...
So how are you holding up after the whole incident in the jungle? You doing all right?
Yep, I'm doing great. It's only been 2 hours, and I got another 2 hours before I go back out on patrol, but I feel like I'll be just fine. And they give you a reassuring thumbs up.
All right, no, it's good. Don't be afraid to take a bit of a break now and again. Don't want to rush things, and you should have some tea. Tea is very relaxing. Good for the nerves.
Okay, I'll take that into consideration. Weyland-Yutani does, of course, allot rations for tea and or coffee, so I felt like tea should be a more valuable commodity, but it's probably they keep it pretty balanced. So you're walked back to the marshal's office where Juniper, they have placed you in handcuffs, but Bravestar made it clear that you weren't under arrest. This was just a formality for them to get everything sorted out, since you are covered in blood, and even if it was self-defense, you still killed someone, so they just have to hold you here for the time being. And I imagine the two of you have been having a conversation, mostly getting the information about what happened. And
we should really play that out, though, right? That conversation.
I'm fine with that. Yeah. So we see the interior of the marshal's office. It's surprisingly nice. He has a desk and a very large-looking, comfortable chair. There's a number of awards posted up on the wall. Some earth memorabilia of what his ancient tribe would have been. He's very dedicated, as we established that he would have been a long descendant from a Native American tribe. And he still holds a lot of that within his appearance and personality. And he takes a great deal of pride in where he came from in Old Earth. And so there's a number of these items that are decorated around. And as he's sitting, he regards you, Juniper, and he says, "So why don't you tell me from the beginning what happened and why there is now a dead colonist?"
Sure. Step one, the door had a knock upon it. I, at that moment, was with Rosalinda. I won't speak to the reason why she was there. That's confidential. But we were having a wonderful time. Then I went to open the door, and one of my patients, who had lost a family member, accosted me with a small arm, which unfortunately looks like it got through security or however. But I guess our dear security officer was too busy dealing with a small pest problem in the vents. He tried to shoot me, or more precisely, tried to shoot Rosalinda. And I knew I had to do whatever I could to protect my friend. There you go. My friend. So I jumped in the way of it and knocked him down using self-defense. But he looked like he was still able to shoot the gun, and I was just so worried about Rosalinda that I felt that his use to the company had reached its end. So I terminated his contract prematurely.
So you decided that it was in your best interest to kill him instead of non-lethally apprehending him.
Non-lethally apprehension are for those who are trained in martial arts. I am not. So I did the best I could with what I had. He
takes up his data pad and just kind of swipes up, and he says, medical examination shows that you had stomped on him multiple times to the point of collapsing his skull.
Yeah, it was precisely 12 times.
There is a term used in actual law enforcement where in the moment where you have enough time to reload your firearm is where your ability to see red is no longer considered the heat of the moment, and you are consciously continuing to engage in a violent act and no longer in self-defense. I feel that once you had continued to deliver a blow, and I quote, 12 times, there is a moment where the heat and the seeing red should have passed. Do you feel within your own medical professionalism that you resulted in acting well beyond what would be considered the proper amount of untrained violence?
Yeah, so those numbers are attributed to people who've had training. I am not a combatant in any way. Adrenaline took over, and I acted with an instinctual response to my situation, protecting myself as well as the life of my crew member. I recall vividly his hand still twitching past the 10th kick, still reaching for the gun.
So you were cognitive enough to determine that he was still moving, and then you continued.
Yes, my senses were heightened, but my emotional state was not something I could control.
And as you previously stated, you made the decision to terminate their life.
I did, yes.
You see him write a few things down. It's at this point that there's a knock on the door, and the security officer pokes their head in. They say, "I'm sorry to interrupt, Marshal, but Gerald is here to speak to you and Juniper."
I'll be behind him. Hello.
Gerald,
Hey,
please. We
Gerald.
are currently deciding what to do with Juniper, given the
Oh yeah,
altercation that had transpired.
how to best keep him safe. It's very important. Juniper, are you all right? And I'll just walk in.
I had a tough time. To be honest, I've always had fears of one of my patients dying, and it was difficult that I missed the cue on this individual. Though I did not anticipate him having a gun. But you know what? I think it's just a lesson that we all need to take, that any one of us, because of the situation that we find ourselves in, could be twisted into a point that murder is the first choice. And so after this, I'm going to re-examine all the case files on the colony and do my due diligence to reassert my control over it.
That's good. You know, it is your job to make sure that no one here, you know, flips out, or however you would want to phrase it as a professional. But you are all right, right? Yes? You're completely fine?
Yeah, I have to go through my systems to make sure everything's okay. I mean, obviously, I personally am fine. The shot was aimed up and not towards my real person. But I'm anxious to get to Rosalinda. I fear that she might be having a tough time, more so than myself.
I mean, this man was trying to kill you and not her, so she can wait for now. I don't want to make too big of a point of this, but you know, this body of yours is a custom model, very expensive, and you know.
Yeah.
I'll
protect it with everything I have.
That's all I ask. Very, very good, very good. So, do we know why this person tried to murder you?
That would have been something good to have an information on. However, it seems Juniper had decided that justice is something they can distribute themselves, and they had promptly executed them before they could be apprehended.
No, that's disappointing. Maybe there are others, you know. But
yeah, no, I'm disappointed in myself.
I will remind you, Gerald, that such actions are punishable within the corporation's guidelines. I will also remind you that my duty as Marshal supersedes Weyland-Yutani policies as well. If I
fully trust you to handle this. We've met. You do a wonderful job here, Marshal. I wouldn't dream of getting in the way of you protecting Juniper from all these mysterious murderers out in the night.
Marshall does a good job. I have absolute respect for his job, and I fully trust him to protect me during this time. I just hope that I can continue. Isn't he very, very cute? Especially the bones beneath his cheeks. I just request access to my files.
He has very good cheekbones and a jawline. We will emphasize that.
Yeah. I just would request access to my files, and maybe a guard or two outside of my domicile, so that no one else can reach my room.
Oh, you needn't worry. Your room will be watched, and it's currently being investigated as a crime scene. Is there anything you need to declare before we finish here?
No, I believe all the information has been disclosed. Yeah.
All right. Then, given the information that's provided to me, for the time being, you're placed under arrest until we can have this matter sorted out.
Yes,
if you believe that's
very smart.
I understand. Yeah, it's a good idea.
Understand that means that this synth model is going to be placed under arrest, and your actual body is going to be under close watch for the time being.
All right, as long as I can continue to look over my work.
Yes. Just because someone's in jail doesn't mean they suddenly stop being an employee.
Gerald, I'm going to request that you limit access to their files, and
Oh, no one else should access Juniper's files. They're very important. We don't want anyone altering things to make it seem like they're not a murderer.
Well,
Good.
I was going to request that you make it so that they cannot alter their own files. Read only.
But that's their job. You've got to update things.
That's foolish. We just had someone almost kill 2 individuals, and you want me not to do my job. Who else could?
Seeing how it is that they failed to murder someone and you had no problem in murdering someone, my concern is justly placed.
Well,
No, it's
killing
not.
a
It's
murderer
false,
is hardly. That's just being
self-defense,
safe.
Really.
Remains to be seen. I have yet to question Rosalinda about what had happened, so I have your word and the actions of what happened to base my judgment on. So for now, you are under arrest.
As long as it doesn't take too long, because I assure you that from my observations, this whole place is like a tea kettle that I tend to every morning and night with extreme care. And without this extreme care, I feel it might bubble over and unfortunate circumstances might have you committing murder.
We need Juniper back at work immediately, Marshal. You can put him in your little cell. That's fine. That's safe. But we need him at work.
The Marshal sends another file over to your datapad, Gerald. He says, "I have it here per reports from one of my security forces, as well as what position did we say Bob is? Like, what's your official title?" You're not an engineer. You're
janitor, right? Something like that.
Something more official sounding than that, though.
Yeah, what are they called, like, officially? I forget.
Are you like a
builder.
chief custodian?
No. Chief builder.
You're muted.
More like probably chief of maintenance.
Yeah, the maintenance chief. Okay, so he sends over a file from 2 coinciding reports from the maintenance chief, Bob, and the security officers who had helped him conduct the sweep of the Have block. And they say, "We have it on good authority that this is not the first incident and complaint filed against Juniper." And Gerald, you see this same report that Bob had come to you directly about. And
Bob is just a little upset that Juniper has a little doggy and he's frightened of dogs or something. It's really not that big of a deal. But speaking of Bob, he made a few requests that if I could get him guns and things. So that's something worth noting to you as Marshal. I mean, why would people wanting guns? That's generally a little dangerous, especially considering someone just tried to murder someone with a gun. Hey, so
he clears his throat and he says the instrument used to attempt the doctor's life was a fabricated pipe weapon, not a real gun.
Oh, well, that's good then. There's no real guns being spread around. It's all safe. Excellent.
Yes.
Excellent.
I will, however, look into the reason behind Bob's request and why they feel the security is not adequate enough here, if that is your concern.
I'm not concerned as such. I just thought it was something you should know. I don't want to make a huge deal of this. Bob's a good man, but, don't want any more of these sort of things.
Very well. And he says if there's nothing else, I'm going to take Juniper back to the holding cells now.
Yes, I'll have your work tablet sent over immediately, and I'll send someone to go get that thing and bring it over. And you can get back to work, maybe lowering the temperature of this tea kettle that we talked about.
You got
Very
it. I
glad
work
you
all
rolled
night
by
to make
Juniper.
sure it
Very
happens.
glad. Yes.
Thank you, Gerald. Let's have sushi when this is all complete.
Yeah, it will be lovely.
When this is all over. Yeah. So why don't we find out what Sarah has been getting up to? Last
This is still the
we
evening,
saw,
right?
yeah, this is still the evening. So last we saw Sarah, you had been promising to take care of Security Officer Issa, who is now heavily medicated following her own injury.
Yeah, I'm guessing she's probably passed out from the pain meds, so I'm just like hanging out in her room. I don't know what kind of entertainment they might have. I don't know if Wayland Yutani does anything like that, but I'm just keeping myself busy.
They do provide a streaming service called Netway, and it's way with WEY, and while being able to purchase each episode of a Wayland Yutani produced show, you are able to watch it for an allotted amount of time before you would need to repurchase it, because when the little message, "Are you still watching?" it'll say yes, and then pay however many credits to continue watching, or no, and then it will shut down. But you probably have something that you can watch.
Yeah, so kind of I don't know about any of this, so kind of a boring evening for Sarah.
Cthulhu.
I'll
Love it.
I'll listen to the vents as well to see if our little friend comes back, since it visited me once in Isa's room. But yeah, aside from that, I don't know about any of this other stuff going on, so
No, nobody has reached out to you. So
why would they?
Why would they? You're just here to fly the ship. Give me an observation roll to see if you hear anything.
Observation.
I guess I should actually be in the roll 20 for this.
Nothing at all.
Nothing at all. Nothing at all. Yeah, you're pretty wrapped up. Damn it, Ian. Love it. So you're pretty wrapped up in the show that you're watching. It is a surprisingly, you still get Korean dramas on on this streaming service. So you're watching the newest K drama. It's very popular right now. It has something to do with a number of contestants being recruited to help promote corporate capitalism through a series of death games where they get murdered, and it's just called Sloth Games. It's a really good show, very popular. A lot of people miss the very subtle nuances that the show is actually about, but you think you've got a good grasp on it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll watch that for a bit, and then if Eva seems like she's knocked out pretty heavily, I might go for a walk. Because I haven't done a lot of stretching. I was in the cockpit most of the day. Yeah, so I'll go for a walk, see what's going on.
Yeah.
Maybe grab some food.
And so you do decide to go for a walk, and you leave the Havelock, and you are part of the Havelock where this incident had happened. And so it's not long into your walk that you do notice that there is a increased security personnel in the area. You also see that there are the flashing lights of the medical unit has arrived, and they are still cleaning up the hallway where there is this awful red smear into the carpet and splattered across the walls, because the power behind a synth's foot is a lot stronger than a human's. And so, Juniper's healthy application of more than 10 boot stomps was enough to turn the skull into a fine jelly. And so they're in the middle of cleaning this up. And Bob, as a chief custodian, maintenance officer, you are probably there also helping supervise the cleanup. You're just a busy man today, Bob.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, there was a console that was broken with the first shot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so probably just looking over that, bemoaning his fate.
Looking down the hallway, I think I get a little I don't want to say excited, but my spirits uplift a little bit, thinking, "Oh, did somebody finally loose it on Juniper?" And then I see the red and realize that's probably not the case. But if I see Bob, I'm gonna walk down there and talk to him. What happened here? Looked pretty intense.
Someone got fed up with Juniper, and then Juniper happened to them.
So they were unsuccessful then?
Quite. I'm going to have to take way too much ammonia to clean up the stain.
Sorry. Thank you again for helping with the plane earlier.
Not a problem. If we could actually, requisite proper replacement parts, I wouldn't have to, jury rig everything. But yeah, no.
You should see the inside of the cockpit.
I am keenly afraid.
Still stays in the air. I guess that's the most important thing. But yeah, if we had the right parts, it'd be a lot easier to fly it.
I've got a strange question. Are you confident in Gerald's capabilities as a lower admin?
I think that question is a little above my pay grade. I'm just a pilot. Don't think I should be commenting on company internal affairs.
I get that, but at the same time, given that there has been a series of unfortunate incidents all on his watch, there is recourse within the company charter should he prove to be a threat to the company's bottom line and the colony's operation.
Yeah, but his wife is the manager. I don't think, no matter what recourse there is in the policies, I don't think it's going to go anywhere.
I am fairly certain that the executive wants this colony operating at peak efficiency. And I'm certain the company has stressed that to the executive multiple times. As we are currently losing colonists, that does not bode well for the executive and the administrator.
I mean, I can't say much about Gerald aside from what he's done on the missions I've been out on with him, and he's done fine. I mean, he negotiated the return of the security personnel who were captured. I don't think he's the issue.
So who do you think is the issue?
She just glances for a moment towards Juniper's room.
Well, it is good to know that there is multiple formal and informal complaints about a anchor that has been deployed on this colony's course. If something should come up, I'll make certain that your name is not part of it. But thank you.
I appreciate that. I'm gonna go finish my walk, find some dinner. Good luck with all of this. I'm sorry you're stuck with it.
It's part of the job. Just tuna nights in like 2 days. Just try and make sure everyone stays and enjoy the meal.
That's not ominous at all. Is there a reason?
Yeah, we're going to do a deep clean. Looks back at the stain, very deep clean of the hab block and take care of our pest problem.
Oh, there's a pet, I think, in there. And so
There
maybe
is
be careful not to.
I've gotten it from Gerald that it is, while it may have once been a pet, now that it has been loosed upon the vents and the colony, that it is to be terminated.
Oh, he's really sweet. Once you get past how he looks and all of that creepiness, he's really sweet.
I would not describe what I encountered in the air vents as sweet.
Okay.
But I'm going to chalk this up to having Juniper as the shrink for this colony and go about the business.
Well, I'll be sure to stay extra long and enjoy the tuna, which is always good. Yeah.
Absolute finest.
I'm gonna go.
Always the best for Wayland-Yutani.
Always.
So
That's the best.
I'll walk away.
As you're heading out, you're walking and you notice as you're going through, I don't even need a roll, I'll just let you know that you see it because you've spotted where these open great passages would be. You see that there are spots where there has been indicators that work had been done on these vents where they have been refastened and bolted in place. And you see them in multiple spots where your friend Jack has been sealed off or found or signs of something, but nobody's mentioned it yet. But it would seem that given that there was blood nearby and incidents of things in the vents and now signs that your access to the reachable sites for humans, you could probably start jumping to some conclusions, wondering what might have happened as things go. And the best place to check might be the security office if you're worried about the stowaway, or you could just continue to the bar and get a drink.
Well, I only met Charlie once, so it was.
I keep saying Jack, and it is
passing.
Charlie. Charlie McJack now. Jack Charlie Dan McDaniels.
So I guess I wouldn't be super invested. I can always wait till Isa's better and ask her about him. So I think instead I would head through the hangar and see if Richard is still there working in the cockpit, and if he is, see if he wants to get a drink.
Okay. Richard is there. Richard is very dedicated to his work, and tonight the ship has a great deal of work that needs to be done to it. And so you see that once Bob had started getting a lot of the fabrications done and you guys have parts now, he's been putting some extra time into making sure that everything is tip-top for it. And you see him wheel from underneath the underside of the ship, and he just looks up and he said, hey there, you've been gone for a little while. You already tired of Isa, huh?
She's knocked out cold from the pain meds. She got it pretty rough with those pirates.
I was only kidding anyways.
The ship will still be here in the morning. You want to get a drink?
I would love a drink. So he puts
Got
his
him.
tools away, and the two of you head to the bar.
Bar that I
Is
can never
anybody
remember
else?
the name of.
Yeah, the bar. Is anybody else headed to the bar? Maybe Rosalinda. She wasn't taken
I'll be
into
there.
custody after all. Gerald is there for sure. Bob doesn't need to drink, and he's working. Juniper is
Would
arrested.
Rosalinda would just have been let go.
Yeah, you were just in. You would have been considered like a witness to what happened, but you weren't. You didn't kill anybody. You were just there, and so they wouldn't have had any reason to hold you outside of a brief statement.
Would I get to feed the pet like I promised to?
Juniper had already fed it. Were you going to leave it more blood?
Yeah.
Need more, always more.
It needs more. Okay. You wouldn't have access to Juniper's domicile, so where are you leaving the food?
Do I have a room somewhere? Did I not get one
Mhm.
yet? That was
You have
like
a room.
I knew. It just
Got bunk
arrived.
You
beds.
have- Yeah, you got a room. It's fine. They give you one, and I'll say it's in the same hab block for convenience sake.
Okay, yeah, I'll feed the pet there in my room.
Okay. So I just need a quick roll from you then, because your vents are not so easily detachable. So if you could just give me a... It's
Super believe in you.
It's not technically heavy machinery, but we'll say it's heavy machinery for now, as you try and dismantle this vent access without causing any damage, because you're just a botanist. You don't have any heavy tools or anything of the like. So go ahead and make
Just
me
rolled.
a panic roll.
You said a panic roll?
Yep.
Okay.
Let's see if you make it any worse.
Probably.
10.
10.
Oh, that's a new number. Hey, all right. We haven't seen this one come up yet. So you don't have proper tools to open this vent up, and so you go into your kitchen, and when you don't have a screwdriver, most people think the best thing to do it with would be like a knife, because it can still fit into that groove and work. And so with this knife in hand, you start trying to unscrew these bolts, and that's when you hear some sounds coming from the vent, and your first reaction is, oh good, it's my friend, our pet. And you keep working thinking that it's going to be fine, and then you hear scratching up against it, and when you finally get the grate off is when you freeze in place, because when you take the vent off to look at the creature, it's not your wonderful little friend. Instead, it is a new creature. It's white in color. It looks like a giant arachnid type thing, and it's going to have a moment to lunge out at you, dear Rosalinda. But you do have a knife, so that might help, but for now, you are helpless, and it's going to jump at you. And so I need to find the stat block for the facehugger. I just love watching Pope react. Oh, that's good stuff.
Hey, I think there's a security breach in the
There might be a security breach,
in
guys.
the vent. Yeah, I don't know if you guys realized it, but someone should go check that out.
Yeah.
All right, I love.
I mean, I
love
gave
this
Bob the
book.
go ahead.
I love
Bob,
this book.
come
What
on,
I
man.
do not love is the layout for how they have this stuff. Here we go. So it has. I will roll a d6 to determine what it does to you, because that is how monster stats work in this game. 3. Tail Lash. The little monster comes for its target, lashing out with its wicked tail. It attacks with 5 base dice, damage 1. Oh, royal face hugger. Do you want to become the queen, Rosalinda? Do you want it to be a royal face hugger? Vote now in chat to decide. No, just kidding. So I'm going to roll 5 dice, and we are going to see if it gets a good grip on you here. 1 success. And so this creature jumps from the vent at you, and its tail goes first, and you will mark a stress for taking damage, and then it's going to it's going to be the aliens scene where it would Ripley was locked in the laboratory, where it's just kind of skittering and lashing out with its tail, but it just gives you this good whipping. And so aside from any damage the victim gets, +1 stress level. Okay. And so tack on a stress as this unknown hostile life form has started to lash out to you. Sorry?
An additional, and I just added one.
Just the one that I told you to take. You're just taking 1 stress. And so you have frozen up, and I'm going to treat it as having got the drop on you, and that will be that. You are no longer tensed up. What do you do holding a knife? There is this strange giant spider-like creature trying to get a hold of you.
I cut it like you cut a lobster, or I try to cut it like.
You try to cut it like a lobster. Okay.
Yeah, like slice it down the middle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Give me a close combat roll, please.
I think I have 0 points in this.
You have 1 point.
No, I
in
have
it.
1. Why would I have a point in close combat?
Because of your
I know.
shady, nefarious background. So that's going to be 2 successes. And I do believe in close combat you have a... No, those are talents. I need the skills. Close combat gives you a additional stunt of, you can inflict 1 more point of damage. You can choose this stunt multiple times if you roll several successes. You can outmaneuver your enemy and can trade initiative scores. You don't need to, because it's just 1 for 1. You can knock or pull a weapon or other object from your opponent. It doesn't have one. Your opponent can be knocked prone, or you can hold the opponent in a grapple. You can just really roll reverse this face hugger and grapple it instead.
Can I tear off its stinger as a weapon?
No,
I don't know.
because you wouldn't be able to knock the stinger from it.
Oh, okay.
But you can definitely take an additional damage or knock it prone or knock it to the ground. I think those are your 2 viable options.
I'm gonna knock it to the ground.
All right. And so you knock it away from you, and it falls over, and you see as it just kind of tries to right itself, and it uses that opportunity to turn over back onto its legs. And from where you had knocked it back a little bit. It starts to scramble towards you again, and with incredible agility, it leaps forward, and we're going to see what it does this time. That's 1. Why did I pull away from where the xenomorph stats were? All right, hold on. Here we go. A 1. Skittering Menace. The facehugger has chosen its host, and they know it is coming for them. It skitters forward, single-minded and horrifyingly spider-like. The victim suffers +1 stress level and must make an immediate panic roll. So it looks terrifying as it comes hurtling towards you. So please mark that stress and take another panic roll. 8. 8 is a good one. 8 means tremble. You start to tremble uncontrollably. All skill rolls using agility suffer a -2 modification until your panic stops. Good thing you're relying on strength right now, but Pope is trying to send you a message from beyond. It will be your turn now, Rosalinda.
All I have is the knife, right?
Mm-hmm. But you do have a knife.
I guess I'll just try to stab it again.
Okay. Yeah. Give me another stab.
That's not a long enough.
Holy crap! Wow.
That's good,
My
right?
God, that's a lot of successes.
Wow.
Okay.
Kill
No,
it.
hey, God, you can stack those damages, and I think that might be your best bet.
Yeah. Yes.
All right.
I'm taking my whole day out on this thing.
Yeah. And so, as it starts to skitter towards you, you catch it midair with the knife, and you stab down. And as you stab into it, you drop it to the floor and just drive the blade in, and it writhes in its death throes, and you start to hear this hissing sound as you see that the floor around where you had stabbed it, as well as the blade, start to sizzle and smoke as its blood seems to be acidic, and it burns a deep groove into where it used to be before the acid cools and dissolves, but it leaves the creature there dead on a now ruined knife.
Okay. I'm going to pick up the knife and the creature.
Mm-hmm.
And is there like a science box or something?
I imagine you would have something like that. And so you find this container, and I'm going to need just a roll from you to see if you accidentally burn yourself, because you just saw it burn a deep hole with its acidic blood, and your first reaction was to pick it up with your hands.
Yeah.
So please give me a mobility roll.
Okay.
Excellent. Give me another panic roll, please. Because rightly so, you were probably freaking out that something just tried to kill you. Something tried to kill you earlier, but that was a person. This is something else entirely. 10! Again!
Wow.
Your first reaction is to try and pick it up, and then you freeze in place, and your stress level and the stress level of all friendly PCs in a short range increases by 1. So go ahead and tick that stress up again. Just keep stacking it up.
What happens when I run out?
You run out of stress?
No, I'm free from running out right now.
That's a great question. Let's find out what happens when your stress box ticks over.
Oh, I just keep going.
You just keep going, yeah. Stress. Stress level 61 and 103. String stress level immediately increases by 1 markdown. Make the seal stress levels. This means the stress actually increases your chance. That is a great question. What did I say? 103 for the other one that didn't have anything on there. 103.
I believe it results in permanent mental trauma.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think it's just the not the broken, but there probably is one for stress too. 98, 101. Stress and panic. Your stress level increases by 1. Blah, blah, blah. Whenever you make a skill roll, you must add a number of stress die equal to your determinant, increasing chances. There's stopping panic, relieving stress. Permanent mental trauma. Here we go. On page 104, if you have rolled a result of 13 or higher on a panic roll during a game session, you must make an empathy roll after the session. Roll attribute only, not using any skill. If the roll succeeds, you develop a permanent mental trauma. Result of D6. Consult the table on 101. But that didn't really say what happens when you fill it up. But I'm gonna say it'll be the same thing. We'll just roll on it and you'll take 1, and then I'll just say you dump all of it as you have a mental breakdown. Until I find something that says otherwise. That'll be what it is. When you fill it, you just snap for a moment and then it'll drop. So you are very close to capping out though. So for now, as you have this reaction to go and pick it up because science, it kind of hits you all at once that this is not a normal creature, not something that you have seen being worked on in the science labs, but as the realization that there are experiments happening in the labs that you weren't aware of, that were being kept secret from when you pulled these files, you start to wonder if it's a coincidence that this thing showed up in your vent in particular. And that's what causes you to freeze and panic. You look down at it and you see that it's not moving anymore, but it's a horrifying monstrosity and it tried to kill you. Does science still demand that you touch it?
Can I touch the knife and push it under my bed?
Yeah, you can take the knife out. And so you pull the knife out, and the knife is useless now. The acid has warped, bubbled into, and dissolved the sharp point in the edge of the blade. And when you toss it under the bed, it clatters far out of reach. But there's still the matter of the xenomorph corpse and the hole that is made in the ground.
Do I have anything in my room I can pick it up with?
Give me an observation roll.
There's a very specific reason she's doing all of this, so.
Mm-hmm.
One second. Let me find observation. I just saw it. I can't find the observation. Here it is. That was really bad that I.
Okay. So you know that when handling organic or mineral acids, a type of rubber called butyl or butyl, B-U-T-Y-L, is what can normally be used to handle it. You're not sure how strong this acid is, but you feel like this is the best starting point. In taking careful preparation, normally, goggles are required or a lab coat to keep yourself from suffering from any burns, but you don't have any of that. on hand right away, but you do have these gloves. You're a botanist after all, so you don't really normally handle acids, but you do have these gloves. And so you go and you pick this corpse up, and it is big. It's looks like it's big enough to wrap completely around your head with its claws, and it has a long, spindly, prehensile tail. And you hold it up probably by that tail, and it gives just another faint twitch, as most things do once they've died, but it doesn't move anymore or in a threatening manner, as you had pierced it completely with this knife.
Okay, I'm going to take the gloves and put it in my lead-lined box that I have. Then I'm going to take a couple of my plants and kind of try to cover the hole up with it.
The hole in the floor with your plants?
Yeah.
Okay. This is a joke, but later down the road, Bob, you receive a notification of unauthorized planting being done within one of the dolls. It's like, who the fuck did this hole? All right, so you try and cover it up as best you can with one of your larger potted vases, and it sinks in slightly into the ground as it had burned through this metal and carpeting. But for now, it's acceptable. Rosalinda is, of course, panicking, so in her mind, this is as good as it's going to get. Where do you go from here?
The bar.
All right. So we cut back to the bar before Rosalinda gets there. Sarah, you have just arrived. And you see Giselle is still working behind the bar, as she always is, and she's currently serving Gerald a drink.
Yeah, I'll head up to Gerald, because I want to find out what happened, because if anybody knows, it'll be him.
Gerald,
Giselle, whiskey, like usual. Gerald, what happened with Juniper?
Oh, someone tried to murder him with a homemade gun. Terrible stuff.
Yeah, so terrible.
Don't worry, Juniper's fine. They're in protective custody right now, being kept safe in the marshal's office. But don't tell anyone, because there might be other people looking to hurt him. But no, completely fine. And the man in question is dead, so there's no need to worry about him. Oh, perhaps I should give some sort of speech about what happened. Do you think that's a good idea?
I mean, word's bound to get around eventually. It might help to get out ahead of it.
Right.
But
yes.
That's not really my area. I don't know.
Oh, but I value your input, Sarah. I mean, you're good with people, right?
I'm good with vehicles. People.
So far, she's been the best with people.
In comparison, she's pretty good with people.
But I'll like get up on the chair and I'll ting the glass. Excuse me, everyone. Yes. If I could have your attention, I'm sure you've all heard now. There's been some violent incident earlier today in which, and I'll look up the name of the dude who died because I'll have forgotten. What was his name?
Put me on the spot. The dude's name.
I mean, he died. Pretty tragic.
It was terrible. Their name is now William.
Yeah, so poor William, he died. Yes, it's a tragic loss. I didn't know him very well, but it turns out that it's probably for the best, considering he was a murderer. Yeah, he tried to murder poor Juniper. He had a gun. William made himself a gun and tried to murder Juniper. Can you believe it? Such violence in our little colony. Oh, I hope there's no more of that sort of thing. But I want everyone to be assured, calm, that William can't hurt anyone anymore, considering he's now in heaven or the other place, and Juniper is also completely fine. So you could all relax, and we'll trust that the marshal will handle it, and find if there's anyone else, who has murderous tendencies and might be making their own guns, which is terrible. If anyone knows anything or has seen anything, tell me or the marshal. Yes, tell the marshal, and we'll sort this all out. But for now, we're all fine, so we can all relax, and yes, round on me to, deal with all the stress that I'm sure this is causing, because we all know Juniper. And I'm sure some of you know William too, and it's going to be quite a shock to find out that he was a terrible person.
So,
give me in just a moment. For the people who are listening, a lot of the drunks look up from what they were doing. Gerald, just give me a manipulation roll, please. Try and have them see things your way.
Manipulation? What?
Yeah.
There we go, a success.
Okay. So there is reaction. They are pretty intoxicated, so there are various levels of indifference because of the amount of drink that they've had, ranges person to person, but most of them are nodding in agreement, and it looks like they've accepted what you've said, this narrative of William being the instigator and the aggressor. And despite what everybody knows about Juniper, you have convinced them that Juniper in this case did no wrong and they are the victim of circumstance.
It's all completely true. Mostly.
However, Sarah, you are entitled to an opposed roll to see if you buy his nonsense.
Nonsense? Why I never?
Why I never? So you can roll manipulation as well, and if you beat one success, then you would, not having been witness to it, it just ranges the plausibility of what he said, knowing what you know of Juniper.
Do I get any modifiers from my history with Juniper?
I'll say yes. Go ahead and take one.
I tied.
For a tie, I'll leave it up to your discretion whether it sounds believable. Gerald is, of course, going to bat for Juniper, which, may not necessarily be bullshit because you've seen Gerald be earnest before. And of course, he did save everyone's lives earlier today.
Yeah, I think I believe Gerald that the man who died was the instigator, but I also believe that Juniper probably pushed him to that point.
Yeah, that seems fair. Okay. It's at this point that a very panicked and distraught-looking Rosalinda comes rushing in, holding a black container.
You okay, Rosalinda?
I didn't feed the pet.
I'm sure that's fine. You seem a little. Yeah, sit down, and I'll guide you to the chair. Plop you down.
I'm just like saying.
I'll wave over to the bartender to get her a drink.
I'm just like saying over and over again. I need to feed the pet. He's going to go hungry. And like I'm clutching the box like it's a kid or something.
Rosalinda, did something happen? Seemed very panicked.
Yeah, there was an incident, and then another incident.
Oh, right. I
Right.
remember you were there when someone tried to murder Juniper. Did you know William at all?
I did she off the table. Did she meet him before?
Sorry? Oh
Did
no.
Rosa?
You wouldn't have known them. They're part of the engineering corps. So you have two totally different jobs, and your interaction probably would have been very limited if you had ever seen them before.
No, he just held the gun up and shot.
Oof,
And the bullet
that
went
must have been
past
very
me.
traumatic.
Yeah, and he was not very nice. I hope he apologizes.
But he's dead. William's dead. He's not going to be able to apologize, which is a real shame.
Oh, he is?
You did watch Juniper stomp his
Yeah.
skull in.
Yeah. So he's not, they didn't just send him to get better?
Oh no, that's dealt with. You could relax.
Okay, because he had a
No,
gun.
Oh yes, the gun's in custody as well. I assume I didn't actually ask. I should have asked. Rosalinda, you're so smart. And I'll make a note to see what happened to what happened. Our GM vanished.
Did my kid do that? I didn't do it.
All right. Yep. Juniper's
Face
going.
huggers
He's
in the
leaving
vents.
jail.
No. Call upon the Xenomorph too many times, the Xenomorph finds you.
Yep.
Yep.
I hate when that happens during horror games when someone's like,
There.
You okay?
Ride it into battle.
We weren't plotting at all. We were not plotting.
Is everything all right, Renus?
Hmm? Oh yeah. I just had to mute for a moment.
Okay, good. I don't know. You vanished. I was worried.
Oh yeah, I'm fine. So
Okay.
Clearly she's
Continue.
shaking and she's like clutching the box.
Yeah, I'll put the drink in your hand, or try to put the drink in your hand.
yep.
Yeah, have a drink. It always helps, doesn't it?
I want to put the drink on top of the box and kind of.
You
Is
do
that
actually have to
Why don't we-
drink the drink for it to work.
Why don't we talk about something else? What's in the box? Is it something important?
This. I was trying to feed the pet and this was in my room, but it's
A
mine.
box?
You can't have it.
I have plenty of boxes in my room too. You know how long it takes to unpack? Like a devil's chore.
But you can't touch it. It'll hurt you.
The box?
No, what's inside of the box?
What's inside of the box?
She's gonna in a hushed voice describe the white face hugger acid.
Well, that sounds awful. But it's dead, yes?
I think so. I killed it.
Those scientists are going completely out of their mind with what they're doing. Here, why don't you lift the lid? I'll take a picture and I'll send that over to Vander Stoop and say, what the heck are you doing, you loon? Be more careful with your experiments.
They'll just delete it.
I mean, maybe, but they'll also look after their experiments more. I mean, what's that thing doing over here? People live here, you know.
They'll probably let it out on purpose.
That doesn't seem...
like-
Why would they do that?
Well, I mean, they're doing the experiments with humans.
Right?
Maybe they wanted to fight somebody to take some data.
Oh,
She's like,
oh,
"This is
don't
what
worry,
everybody-"
I'm sorry.
Don't worry, sweetie. They have plenty of test subjects. It's all handled. There's no, they wouldn't do that.
But they don't survive.
What? I'm sorry. What are they doing?
Oh, experiments. I have that. That happened today too. A lot happened today, and I still didn't do what I was supposed to do. And I think I have to put some more dirt on my plant in my room.
You should really send open the box. I'll take the picture and I'll take it from there. Yes. It's just.
No.
I mean,
I
it's
don't
dead,
trust anybody.
Rosalinda. I
It's going
can't
to
do my
get you.
job if I can't tell them what's going on.
It's going to get you. The guy had a gun earlier. He was going to get Juniper or me or both of us, and this is going to get all of you. And I just got here. I don't want to have all of you get eaten and shot.
Sure is a shame our one psychologist is in jail. Really could have used him right now.
Not much help he would have been.
Okay, I'll keep you safe from this. It's going to stay in here. I'll hold on to this box.
Yes. You know, maybe if it is dangerous, I'll just and I'll call a security guard over. You know, get you a little backup. You know, like this young woman here has a gun. You know, they're very useful in dealing with threats. So Rosalinda, this is insert name here. Let's call her Victoria. This is Victoria. She likes to windsurf. Yes. And she's going to take you over to the marshal's office and you can explain to him everything that happened. How does that sound? Safe as you can get.
I still have to feed my pet, and then I have to have my drink.
Oh, we'll take care of that, and you can take the drink with you. And perhaps, Victoria, you can ensure that Rosalinda gets to talk to Juniper while she's there, you know, for the trauma. Is that all right?
I don't have to Juniper. It's okay.
I mean, it's really for the best, but it's all up to you. Don't want to push
Can I just
you.
have
I'll make eye contact
all
with
on you.
Victoria to have her impress upon her that it is really not up to Rosalind.
I just want my drink.
Oh yeah, you can take the drink, completely fine. I paid for it. It's all good.
I want to try to have my drink. I don't think I can hold it very well because I have this big box. So I'm just like trying to sip the drink off the box. I don't plan on going anywhere. I'm just.
I mean, the guard is going to drag you to the marshal's office one way or another, so.
So we're gonna just take Rosalinda there.
I mean, Victoria is. I don't plan on going, but.
Anybody else going with the two of them? I came back at the tail end of it, so I just want to.
No,
Just be.
she's distraught and is saying things about security risks. She doesn't want to share anything, or so I'm gonna have the marshal handle it. So I called a guard over, and Victoria, the guard, is gonna escort her to Marshal Bravestar. And she is under orders as well via non-verbal communication to make sure that Rosalinda talks to Juniper because she's traumatized.
Yes. For my own sake of knowing what happened, did she show anybody what's in the box?
Nope.
No.
She refused to open it, which is why she's getting
Yeah,
sent
she
to
told
Why
us.
she's getting sent there? She told you.
She told us, but she won't show us.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't. Do I still have time to show you?
You don't have to show them. I just wanted to know for my own sake. You know, I don't want to overshare if
Well,
you
once
hadn't
you
told them yet.
Once she realizes she's going to get taken away, she will open the box widely and show it.
Oh, all right.
She's not going to pull the thing out. She doesn't.
No, I'll just hold the phone over it.
Are you going to pull it out?
Wait, I have my gloves, so yeah, I am.
Okay. So first things first, Gerald and Sarah mark a stress for seeing this creature get pulled out of this box. There is a collective panicked reaction from everybody when they see her hold up this strange alien life form in her frantic state.
All right. I'll quickly snap the picture. You can put that thing back now.
You wanted to
The
see what was
hell
in the
is
box.
that?
Yes, now I've seen it. Now I've got the picture. Thank you.
It was in my room.
Right.
I turned to
Back in the
Gerald.
box,
Should we
please.
be watching for that in all of our rooms?
I have no idea. I'll quickly send Van der Stoepel the message thing, and I'll be like, "Hello, Doctor. This is Gerald. We found one of these in our habitat ring. Is this one of yours? Please advise."
You don't even need to do that, Gerald. You saw one of these in the top secret laboratory. This is the creature that was wrapped around one of the prisoners in the terminated test tube.
Yeah, I don't think I'll put 2 and 2 together.
Oh, okay, you're gonna still send it
Immediately.
to her.
I will send that message.
It takes a minute, but you do get a response back, and it just says, There are a few things that are said in it. One, it says, Gerald, this is not a secure line. 2, Gerald, we talked about this earlier. 3, why is that in the colony? Is it loose? Or was it loose?
I'll write back. It's dead, so it's I don't know how it got there. I was hoping you would know, but yes, I remember now. Please make sure that there's no more of these things. Yes, this is a black mark on your record, Dr. Van der Stoep, letting these things get out.
The question comes back: was it loose?
Well, yes. It was in the vents apparently. Poor Rosalinda's traumatized.
It takes another minute for a message to come through, but you see a new message pop up, and it's a encrypted message this time on a secure channel. You see that your wife is also part of this communication, as well as a number or another name that you don't recognize, or another contact detail that you don't recognize. It's encrypted as well. And it just says, we have a problem. There has been a containment breach in Paradisio. I am instituting lockdown procedures of the colony.
Oh, that's quite serious.
Mm-hmm. Your
I'll
wife
read
messages. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
That's just my reaction upon reading it, which I do in front of everyone. And if you would want to look over my shoulder, that's fine. But I'm not actively going to show. Yeah,
was whether or not I could see your screen.
Absolutely.
Your wife messages back next immediately, and her response says, authorization granted, and there's a series of coded jargon that's put in there that you don't recognize, and it says lockdown procedure in place. Purge protocols will be initiated in 48 hours.
Oh, all right, well, I guess it's good that we're doing something. Should I do anything here? Oop.
Your wife's message says, get somewhere safe.
Well, that could be nowhere that I know of.
Gerald, what does it mean lockdown and purge?
Well, let's look that up, shall we? And I'll look up the definitions of what that means.
You open up the Weyland-Yutani handbook,
Yep.
PDF, and so when you dig through the Weyland-Yutani handbook, you know that there is a separate section for corporate execs that the rank and file members of Wayland Yutani are not purview to. Lockdown procedures for the standard operating procedures would be to go into the colony shelter where security forces can initiate lockdown and keep everybody in their own safe containment area. You, as an important member of Wayland Yutani, are assigned a separate bunker that is much more secure and safe, in quotes, where you can wait out any incidents that might happen. There is also a distress beacon that contacts directly to any nearby Wayland Yutani security or Marines that happen to be within the quadrant.
We're going to send for the Marines? That seems a bit excessive for one little weird crab thing.
It ruined my knife.
I'm sure we could get you another knife.
When she says it ruined my knife, if you guys look into the box a little bit, you see that some
the box is
blood
closed. That thing is
the
back of the box, and it is closed.
Okay, I was gonna say there are some faint acid burns on the interior, but not enough to have burned a hole through it since it's a lead box. But you can see where it burned and dried on the surface of it. But it's closed now. The people they panicked initially at the sight of it, but now they have gone back to drinking and relatively distancing themselves from you all. But
they'll get
you
the
also
pop-up
know
soon
that
enough.
the purge protocol, however, is why the Marines are called in, because the purge protocol is non-essential employees are deemed expendable and purge-worthy, and it's their job to basically contain and remove any harmful assets, non-essential employees, to further prevent the spread of an outbreak.
Oh, well, that's very worrisomely worded, don't you think, Sarah? That almost makes it sound like they're going to come and shoot people.
That is what that sounds like. Who is considered important, Gerald?
Well, there's me and Juniper, and I think that's almost about it. I mean, my wife, of course, but some of the scientists. Perhaps the marshal? No. Well, we should get everyone to safety so we know who's, dangerous. Don't want to give the Marines any reason.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Can I send things off? Can I still send emails and stuff out?
Yes. Yeah. You're still able to freely move documents around. They haven't locked out communication yet.
So theoretically, I could send the contents of that file I have to somebody else.
Absolutely, you can certainly try. Would you like to try and send these incriminating documents out?
To my sister, I guess, and probably an off-world criminal contact.
Sure.
Just put some possible chaos into play.
So this isn't going to be an easy roll. I'm going to need a comms tech roll from you, and I'm going to need more than one success.
I've got a ton of stress too, so this is going to go badly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So here's what I'm going to say. Getting these documents outside of Wayland Yutani systems is going to take one additional stress, and since you're doing it here in the bar, and in particularly next to two people who are interested in protecting Wayland Yutani assets in the bottom line are sitting next to you, it's going to require another success. So I need 3 successes from you to not get caught doing this.
Okay. I only got 2.
Yeah, and I need another panic roll from you.
I hope you're not setting anything too delicate there. You know, people could panic if this got out.
Well, I mean, what's the point in not?
12.
Ooh.
That's a new one as well. Oh boy! Scream. You scream your lungs out for a round, losing your next slow action. Your stress level is decreased by 1, but every friendly character who hears your scream must make an immediate panic roll. So Rosalinda's response actually is to just flip out and lose her mind as she thinks about sending this document out. And Gerald says, I hope you're not sending anything that's going to cause a panic. And instead, Rosalinda causes a panic. Gerald has a 5, so you can keep it together. Or, yes, Gerald has a 5. Sarah,
Mine's
however,
-2.
So it's also a
Nurse
5.
of Steel.
So it's also a 5. So you both
Nice.
keep it together.
Victoria!
However, hold on. No. Sorry, the panic roll was the writer on that. So yeah, it's good. Victoria approaches and seeing Rosalinda having this outburst and already having the conversation with Gerald, she just walks up to Rosalinda and says, all right, sweetie, come on. And she taps you with the stun baton.
I'll make sure to catch the box as she falls unconscious.
Yeah. So let's see here. Let me pull up the stun baton. Because Gerald made it very clear that Rosalinda was on that verge of being completely unhinged. And so when it was just like, yeah, we need to get her out of here before she becomes a problem, and then she just starts screaming at the top of her lungs. Stun effect. Okay. Let's see here. I'll give it a legit roll to see how much non-lethal stun damage you take. And if I have to accidentally take it into lethal because she might use excessive force on you for some reason. There is just not a basic security officer, but there is just a soldier, so I guess I'll use that. Score 7 dice. Okay. So it is 1 success. And so they tap you with this stun baton, and you feel your body go rigid as the electricity courses through you. And Gerald, you catch the box as Rosalinda, with a whopping... Oh, how much health do you have, Rosalinda?
I have no idea.
Let's see here.
Where is it?
Determine your...
It's just your strength.
Is it just your strength?
Yeah, it's
just your strength.
So you would have 3. Okay. So you take 1 point. Actually, hold on. That's a cutting torch. Bonus damage. So you take 2, because it gives a bonus of 1. You take 2 non-lethal, in quotes, of stun damage, and you basically go limp, and she just fireman hoists you over her shoulder. She's a pretty strong woman, and so she looks to Gerald and nods and says, I'm going to take her down to the marshal, and hopefully she doesn't cause
Yes,
any more trouble."
I'll follow. I'll carry this box. Sarah, perhaps you should go check on Isa.
Yeah.
She's
and
alone,
before, yes. Before Gerald gets up, I will grab his arm and I glance briefly towards Richard, who's further down the bar, and I'll lean in towards Gerald and just really low say, tell your wife I'm the best pilot here. I can get her off planet when the time is when she needs to.
Oh, yes. There's, be careful. And I hope Isa's all right. And I'll set the box down again as you're walking off, and I'll quickly send a little message across to everyone saying, oh, we're going to be taking some security measures, considering everything that's happened. So all non-essential duties are on hold for now. So please take care of yourself. Don't wander into the jungle. Don't be alarmed if you see security there doing their
Don't
duties.
panic.
Yeah. Don't panic. Everything is fine.
Yeah. And so everybody gets up and starts moving again. Shortly after Gerald's message of don't panic, everything is fine, the alert that the colony is going into lockdown and everybody needs to report to the central hab block, the recreation area, for containment and inspection. That is when people start filtering out of the bar, while the three of you, the officer, Rosalinda over her shoulder, and Gerald start to head towards the marshal's office. Bob, the alert notification that the colony has gone into lockdown has appeared over your data pad. It would seem that Gerald has finally taken your request seriously. Or perhaps something else has happened because he didn't take it seriously. Who knows? It remains to be seen. What do you do in this instance?
I think there's just this long, hard look at the notice and seeing that it's coming from Gerald. Like, Bob hasn't put 2 and 2 together yet, but he's suspicious. And at this moment, it's just... He's not going to report to the Hab block.
Okay.
He is going to report to the hangar. And he is going to go into the VTOL's cockpit and get a good look at everything.
Okay, and make sure everything's working and functional.
It's along the lines of, okay, so something's gone wrong, and also if he perhaps needs to sabotage the VTOL.
I like it. So, Bob, as you enter into the hangar, it would seem that you're not the only one who has had this idea of entering the hangar to get an assessment of things. When you arrive, this is your first true introduction to the colony cultists that have a fringe religion that has been developing on the colony. There's probably only a small handful of people who follow this group, 20 or so in number, and they are led by a very rough and dour man by the name of, I have his name here, where did it go? Where did it go? I had his name on here. Joseph Bosco. And their religion, we decided, was called the Church of Unitology. And so you, yep. And so you see a few of these cultists are working on a number of the vehicles inside of this hangar. They are not, well, they could be engineers, but they're mostly in these religious robes now that they have not normally worn in public. It's usually stuff that they wear behind closed doors. But now they're in full ceremonial garb. They are under the hoods or underneath the vehicles, and they are doing unscheduled maintenance on the vehicles. More importantly, just like you, they are disregarding the request to report to the hab blocks. There's 3 in total. One's at the VTOL, one's at one of the trucks under the hood, and another is under a construction vehicle, messing with something underneath, maybe wiring or something.
Is the construction vehicle that he's under jacked up?
Mm-hmm.
I would like to quickly depressurize the jack.
All right, give me a heavy machinery roll. And I'll roll the number of successes into this for how stealthy you approach as well. Okay. So you approach, and your footsteps aren't silent, but the person doesn't have enough time to react as you depressurize this vehicle, and it descends on him, and he has enough time to say, "What the? Oh no! Ah!" And you hear this awful crunch sound as the weight of the machinery comes down over top their upper torso, and there is this sickening crunch and squelch, and it's enough to alert the other 2 who poke their heads up from what they were doing. And one of them says, "You can't stop what's already begun," and he lifts up a heavy wrench, and the other has a welding torch.
Head just cocks to the side as... Fun thing is, strength is often speed in this system. So he's going to move with all haste towards the one with the cutting torch.
Mm-hmm.
And attempt to just grab by the wrist, and we're in a horror movie now, folks, and jam the cutting torch into his neck.
Yeah, okay. Let's go ahead and get that melee combat roll. Okay. The cutting torch has a base damage of 3. Armor
I would
piercing.
like to stunt with the extra successes to deal 5.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I feel like I don't need to look at how much health he has, but just for the sake of being able to give you a number on how much overkill you have. Oh, that's actually really surprising. I would have thought they'd have less health than that. The stat block for the actual NPCs have 4 health. So you do kill him because it's armor piercing, so his shitty robes don't do anything. As you bring this welding torch, you overpower him and turn the welding torch around onto him, and he screams in agony as well as you just cut down into the neck and shoulder blade and just carve a good, decent piece of him off before he slumps to the ground. The other member has a chance to move towards you, and with his close combat, he is going to swing this wrench and try and stop you. But he only has 1 success. And so, with a blunt instrument, which I will treat as... Oh, no, there's a stat for a blunt instrument. It is 1 damage, and do you have anything that constitutes as armor?
No.
Okay.
I'm just well built.
You're just well built. So he brings it down hard on you, but you're a synth, so pain is a novelty of the weakness of flesh.
And yeah, no, it's just that moment of head goes sideways, then just shoots right back up. A little
You
bit
still have a
of
welding torch.
Yeah, and just with now this limp body not paying any attention to it, it's a ragdoll. just turns around and jabs the cutting torch into their chest.
Give me one more close combat.
And I'll use the extra successes for more damage.
Mm-hmm. Naturally. So 3 plus 2 makes it 5. And you're quick and efficient, as in all things that Bob does. Can he fix it? Yes, he can. And fixing it, I mean, with death. And so the man slumps down, a ruined heap. The smell, if you had the ability to have olfactory senses, would be atrocious. Burnt flesh and blood. But now you see, and you have the chance to fully observe the amount of damage that had been done in the short amount of time. But the welding torch, the land vehicles, they had been used to do just obscene amounts of damage to the axles, cutting through them, damaging wires and fuel lines. It would take a lot of time to fix the land vehicles. The VTOL, however, give me an observation roll. Okay. Do you want to push? I don't know if you can push, actually.
I can't.
You can't. So you have to take that. Your quick scan and observation shows that there is damage to the VTOL. It would take more time and extensive looking over to determine just how much damage had been done to it. It's time you currently don't have, because you can guess that these 3 weren't acting on their own, and there might be others who come looking for them, or more importantly, the security forces who might come around to make sure that everybody is adhering to the lockdown procedures. But for now, this ship is not in a good condition, and things are getting more serious.
Gathers up the bodies, just pulls the vent straight off from the air vents, stuffs the bodies inside, hangs the air vent back up, just ajar, and then with the comm, security, there seems to have been some sabotaged by robed figures in the hangar bay. Going to report to Central Power to make certain that no one else has taken liberties with the Hab block. Bob out.
There is a response that says, lockdown procedures are in place, but understood. We'll send a security personnel to escort you in.
Thank you. Over.
And with that, and us getting very close to running out of time, we will cut to poor Juniper, who has been in lockdown this entire time.
Hey, poor Juniper. Juniper's working, okay?
Poor Juniper, who finds that their access had become quite limited despite Gerald's insistence. Bravestar did not become a marshal on his naivete and ability to trust others.
Oh my!
Yeah, you
I'm gonna put
you
in
have
his file.
you have access to read only, but you cannot edit or or tamper with anything to change evidence or doctor information. But you do have access to reading files, so you can still theoretically do work. You just can't hide evidence because you're being investigated.
Why would the hell would I hide evidence? Nothing.
I know, right?
Yeah, everything's
Criminals
there.
would never,
So
criminals would never do anything strange like that.
He he's looking at his stuff and he's like, I have nothing to hide, like other than like confidentiality.
Yeah, it's all there.
Yeah, he's Yeah, he's just gonna put a note concerning the marshal that, probably shouldn't have a promotion.
Well, you're unable to place a note because you're on read only.
Yeah, I
but
put it in my personal file.
mental note.
Yeah.
Mental note. Don't put it
I
in
record it in
promotion.
my synth.
What is important though is inside of this detention cell, there's another individual here. This gender neutral individual that we know is Charlie McDaniels, the prisoner that had been apprehended and stowed away inside of the vents for all this time. When you are brought in, you are seated across from them. They look young, skinny, their head is shaved, and you recognize all the telltale signs of a penal colonist.
Hi.
What are you in for?
Apparently for my own protection. I forget his name, but someone tried to kill a crewmate, and I dealt with them with extreme prejudice.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
That's not usually how Weyland-Yutani handles that sort of thing, but good that you're here for your own protection.
No Weyland-Yutani, then.
They raise an eyebrow and they say, I feel like I know Weyland-Yutani pretty well.
Oh, then it shouldn't surprise you.
Nothing Weyland-Yutani does surprises me anymore. I was being facetious.
Oh, sorry. I'm not actually here. I'm elsewhere. So sometimes I'm looking at other things while also looking at you.
They lean a little closer to the Juniper model. And they go, "Oh, fuck! Are you a synth?"
No, I'm a human. I'm not one of those godless analytical machines. I'm a human. I just control.
Are you sure
this.
about that, Juniper?
Oh, I am very sure. There's a heart in here. Such a heart.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm here. I'm just piloting it.
Huh. So why didn't they arrest you then?
Because I have a condition that prevents me from interacting with the real world. A lot of immunization issues. So part of my doctorate in PhDs in psychology and human conditioning, as well as a couple other papers, I got brought in under the condition that I could have something like this so I can experience what it's like to be around people.
So you're saying if somebody wanted to kill you, shooting your robot isn't the way to do it, but peeing in your scuba tank is?
I mean, both do the same thing. Either you destroy this and I will be left in a tube to eventually starve, because I'm pretty sure that the company won't expend the resources in order to get me out if something does occur. So both have become my life in every sense.
Neat.
Yeah, I mean, I really appreciate the opportunity. I'm not gonna lie. It's been really fun kind of interacting with people the last couple of weeks or months, however long it's been. Yeah. So what are you in for?
For being a resident here.
That's fair. Yeah. I'm not good with small talk, so you're gonna have to.
It's fine. You didn't happen to sneak any food in, did you?
I don't eat food.
I've been really hungry lately.
Yeah, I can't digest food. Predominantly there's an issue with my physical form where the muscles have atrophied enough that I can't chew. So everything that I have is just kind of fed into my system. But I do make a damn good sushi, and if when we get out of here, I'd love to sit down and chat and make you some. Okay.
I have a really strange feeling that I'm not getting out of here.
Why do you think that?
Because Sorry, who are you again?
I'm Juniper. I am the head psychologist of this facility.
Oh. Right. Okay. I don't think I'm getting out of here because, I broke the rules and they're probably going to ship me off to one of those penal colonies.
Probably, yes.
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere. So I was just curious. I'm very hungry. When you live out in the jungle for a long time, did you know about the pirates? I'm definitely one of the pirates that they caught.
Oh, I have heard about the pirates.
Juniper, there were no pirates caught.
Well, I'm going with it.
Okay.
Pirates. I mean, someone says they're a pirate, you just say, okay, you a pirate. Is there anyone coming to save you?
You're an important person. You might be able to get me out, right? So if I say that my crew might come and rescue me, would it be helpful in getting my release?
Yes.
Then yeah, there's a lot of pirates coming to get me because I'm very important. You should be worried for the safety of the entire colony. If something were to happen to me, there would be hell to pay.
Oh. Well, hell's
I'm
not real.
Starbeard's lover.
This all sounds very fantastical. But
The
lovely
nefarious
conversation.
Starbeard.
Yeah, nonetheless. Yeah, let's just sit here in silence for the next X amount of hours. I have a lot of work to do.
Juniper, about an hour passes and there is the sound of the nearby security door opening, and Victoria is walking in with Gerald and Rosalinda slung over her shoulder.
What happened to Rosalinda?
She started making a scene at the bar.
Yes, we're in desperate need of your help, Juniper.
I tried to tell you, it's the tea kettle.
Yeah, I'm gonna declare this nearby cell, and she just lays Rosalinda down on a cot in the cell opposite of yours. This is the drunk tank for now. She's not actually under arrest. It's just for her to cool off.
Can we put Juniper in that cell so it can help?
Honestly,
Unfortunately, that cell is for dangerous and unknown individuals. Rosalinda is neither dangerous nor unknown.
But Juniper's not unknown either.
Yeah.
And not specifically dangerous. Really?
They smashed a man's head in with their foot.
Gerald, ooh. I highly recommend.
That's how he died?
Yes. They stepped on their head 11 times until it was crushed.
12 times.
12 times.
That seems excessive.
Significantly one more.
Yeah, I highly recommend that Rosalinda and I be confined to my cabin. Waking up in such a area will only stress her out more.
Exactly.
We
She
will
needs
take your
care.
recommendation into consideration.
Yes, but all of that is sort of aside now. Because have you seen the lockdown thing?
I have not. No, I've been working.
Yeah, you would have gotten the notification in the middle of your conversation with Charlie.
Like turn notifications off.
You shouldn't do that, Juniper. There's very important information coming through. But yeah,
An important thing
quite
to
serious.
Note, an important thing to note: Juniper was not part of the secure conversation, Gerald.
No, I understand. But yes, we're going to need security to do some sweeps and such to make sure that when the Marines arrive, that we're just sitting there with smiles, all safe. Yes.
Yep. I'm telling you, I can't unless worse things are going to happen unless I'm allowed to do my job.
Yes,
I guess
we
it's
are
up to
in desperate need.
Yeah, I agree.
You'll have to speak
need
to
people
the marshal.
We'll bring the marshal over here right now.
Yeah, I'm sure we can do that over the message. He's got so much to do.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah, let's open a chat window.
Yeah. Marshal, I'm sure you can see that with what's going on, that we need our psychologist operational to make sure that everyone stays calm and controlled, and it's really very important. And I'm sure you can see why we're letting him out. Yes. And
the marshal responds, and he says, "With all due respect, Gerald, under no uncertain terms are you going to be letting anyone out of my jail cells. I will remind you that I am outside of Weyland-Yutani's jurisdiction."
Yes, you keep making that point, but we're all here together, and you do understand that we need our psychologist, yes? It's very important that we all stay calm.
I'm failing to understand how a psychologist is going to help in a lockdown situation.
Are you kidding me?
Especially one that felt the need to summarily execute a colonist during a stressful situation.
Well, it seems he doesn't want to cooperate. It's quite disappointing.
Gerald, you gotta do something, because, like I said, tea kettle, it's boiling over. All right. Yes. First, it happened with the gun. How many other guns have been manufactured on this place? You're gonna put people
Rosalinda,
in a tightly
wake up now.
Put up room.
Start.
Rosalinda, are you okay?
No, I didn't get to feed the pet, and stuff keeps happening.
Well, you're in a jail cell now, so you're at least safe.
Yeah, you do see that you are in a confined cell by yourself. Directly across from you is Juniper and another individual who just kind of waves. Victoria, standing with Gerald in the hall, says, "You're not under arrest, Rosalinda. You're just here to cool down."
Okay.
Rosalinda, we're here with you. The marshal is acting irrational, but we are going to get through the next 48 hours.
Yes.
I don't know.
Is there anything else Victoria here can step in when the marshal is occupied, Right, you're in the security force under the marshal, which means that, if we do need our psychologist released, you can do that, right, Victoria? You've got the keys and such?
If the need arises.
Oh, excellent. And you were also in the bar, so you've seen the creature which we need to get rid of?
That thing looked dead, and I definitely...
Oh, yes, but...
I definitely acted under your instructions to deal with the situation.
What creature?
Oh, yes, I'll also show you, and I'll open the box. It's very unpleasant, so...
You open the
Yeah.
box, and Juniper, who is not a synth and is very much a person controlling a robotic persona
Yeah.
themselves, can tick up
What
a
the-
stress for. You saw this creature once before, but now you see a real live, now dead version of it. Rosalinda, you have a PTSD reaction of it as well. Go ahead and tick up.
No. Oh no.
stress.
I'll. Oh wait.
Yeah, it's like-
You're just gonna-
We're
you're just gonna
always so
side angle,
Juniper.
tilt it.
I'm not
Yeah, just-
lifting it
okay.
out.
Yeah.
No, none for Rosalinda then. Juniper,
There's a sensor
you-
bar there.
Yeah, but you recognize it. This was the creature that was wrapped around a penal colonist's face, and one of the experiments that you had terminated. When you angle it towards Juniper, you tilt it into the room, and so
Mhm.
Charlie also sees it, and they also have a reaction to seeing it, and they just kind of scoot back, and they're like, "Where the hell did that thing come from?"
Oh, relax, child. It's dead. I'll put
It was
back
in my
the box.
room.
It was in
Gerald,
your
I know
your
where
what?
this came from.
room.
Yeah.
They're in the colony.
Well, this
Yes.
one was, but it's dead. And now we're going to do a nice, good security sweep, right, Victoria, to make sure that everyone is safe.
She
Gerald,
looks,
can I
or they
help
look.
you?
They look at Victoria and they say, "Everyone in the colony is in danger if one of these is loose."
I need
Did
my
you get-
lab. Can I get back to work? I need to do some work.
I'm afraid you haven't been cleared yet by the psychologists, and since they're unable to perform their tasks, there's nothing much we can do, I'm afraid. Protocols and all
Well,
that.
I think the acidity in this creature, if we could extract it and put it in the soil, it can help our crop yields.
Yes, I'm sure
Look.
that's very helpful.
Victoria, I know you're trying to do good, all right? I killed someone. I acted aggressive and in self-defense because this person was trying to harm the only friend that I have. I admit I let my emotions get the best of me. But in my 28 years of living, I have never acted out in a violent manner to anyone. You can look at my record. I do great work, and I am a great psychologist. So here right now, you're going to have to evaluate everything that's happening right now and consider the risk. Because I don't want you looking back at this moment and regretting not letting me out and doing my job.
Give me a manipulation roll, and this is going to be at a higher difficulty.
This is what I was
Because-
meant for.
Yeah, because it is a very convincing argument. However, murder.
Just a little bit of murder.
Just
Yeah,
a
just a
little bit.
little bit of murder. Yeah, like this is like a little bit of murder. Just a little bit. All right, I'm gonna roll it. Let's. Can I just do
Good luck.
dice on this? Roll 20.
Yeah, you can just roll dice on that. How many dice are you getting?
I got I got 9 base dice and 6 stress dice.
That's a lot of dice.
I'm empathetic as hell.
So the first 6 will be your stress, and then the last 3 will be your regular dice. So go ahead and roll your 96.
Well, 6 stress dice and then 9 regular dice. So I'll do the stress dice first. How do I? Oh, I spent so long
Yeah,
clicking
do
on
that.
this. Oh God!
So 2 successes. Now let's make sure you don't get any stress.
Well, no, that was the stress. That was 6.
That was
That's
the stress.
2 stress critical on the.
So he
And then this
panics.
is my.
Oh,
yeah,
so you panicked
This is
then.
my roll.
So
Yeah.
all right. Well, it was
One.
either way. The panic is going to override that. How many stress dice did you say you have?
6.
6. So we need their panic roll now. Then
it's D. Was it it's a D10 or a D6 added to the stress?
I gotta double check because everybody
Panic
else is
roll
into the sheet.
Yeah, let me. If I click it, I can figure it out. Panic.
It's 1d6 plus the amount of stress you have.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So yours will be 1d6 plus 7 because when you panic, it goes up a tick.
Oh, all right. Well, yeah, 8.
So that's an 11 because you rolled a 4.
No, 8.
8.
I rolled a 1.
Oh, you weren't taking the first panic roll then.
Yeah, those were just trying to figure out what the other panic roll thing was.
So then 8. 8 is still not good. You start to tremble uncontrollably. All skill rolls using agility suffer a -2 until your panic stops. So, that being said, you made a very good argument on why you should probably be let out. And then you, as Victoria is considering, as Victoria starts to consider if she's going to let you out, because it would have been a convincing argument, except that you get an auto fail with the panic roll.
My body is out there vulnerable. You understand that I'm not actually here, right?
Yeah, you start shaking. You're like, this is not really me, but I am still confined regardless of what you do. And what ends up happening as well, because we are nearing the end, and I'm going to leave it on a wonderful cliffhanger, you say, let me out, and you start shaking the barred door, and Charlie just says, I don't feel so good. And they are clutching their stomach, and as they say they don't feel so good, they fall onto the floor and they groan, and they're clawing at their skin, and you all see that there's one bulge, two bulges, several bulges coming out of their stomachs, and then their lower torso erupts and several snake-like alien entities emerge, hiss, and Victoria screams, Gerald screams, Rosalinda screams, Charlie gives their last scream, and we cut to black for the credits of this episode.
We did it, guys.
I tried to get you moved out of that cell, buddy. I did my best.
We were so close.
It would have been perfect if the panic rolls hadn't done it. Like it was only going to be a 2 difficulty, and I was like, if you make the 2, you'll be fine, and you did. And
right?
it was just nope. There's the panic, and it's like, all right, well, that's that.
I mean, that's how it is, like in Alien.
Yeah. So it's the beginning of the end, the very obvious case of things are bad, don't leave me in here, didn't work out in your favor. So before I do a dumb for a second, we can roll and forget. Let's go ahead and do experience. So going around the table, we will start, of course, with Sarah. So Sarah, once I pull up the experience chart here. This PDF doesn't want to work sometimes. 1 second. I believe the first question was,
present.
did you...
Are
Yeah,
we
everybody's
here? Yes.
present. Were you here? Everyone is here. Everyone is still here. Experience. Page 35. Everybody can pull up page 35 and follow along once I have mine ready. So the next question becomes, did you risk or sacrifice something to further your personal agenda?
Yeah, I should be.
Kinda.
No, I think I did the opposite, actually. Because because I told Gerald that I was the best pilot, like
Put
ignored.
I like
So I think I
that
did the
first.
opposite of my agenda.
Yeah, I really like that that line right there. Like, yeah, I'm a really good pilot.
I do like the evolution of everybody's characters throughout this, where everybody was just kind of like, oh, we're going to do what's best for everybody. And then slowly it's just, I need to worry about numero uno and make sure I'm taken care of. Gerald, did you risk or sacrifice something to further your personal agenda?
I did
If the
further my
colony
personal
does count.
agenda.
Yeah,
I
you
think
could
the-
risk or sacrifice the colony.
I don't know if I risked the colony, but not that much. I did my best. It's just that my best isn't very good.
Oh, I
My-
believe in you, buddy.
I feel you've been doing phenomenally.
My biggest risk might be standing up to the marshal.
That is a good risk because he made it very clear that he doesn't technically answer to you guys. So
Yeah, he
Yeah.
needs to die.
Like
He
me and the
breaks the
marshal
chain of
are now
command.
not on good terms, and that's the risk we took.
yeah, I can take that because that might be something that you need to deal with later as well. Especially
murder.
going over his head to release somebody he has placed into custody. And not only that, but undermining his authority by having one of the security officers start to let him out. Well, I think that works just fine. Juniper, did you risk or sacrifice something to further your personal agenda?
Not really. I mean, my personal agenda has always been the smooth sailing and the mental health of everyone. And, you know, I could still
you
do
didn't
that
really
within the
further that
cell.
much.
Yeah, like, I was busy. The marshal prevented me. God damn, Marshal. Let me get into the minds of these young colony people. I need it.
Rosalinda, did you risk or sacrifice something to further your personal agenda?
I think so. Refusing to let anybody help with that face hugger.
Okay.
Personal
You also
agenda is
touched
that
it.
she can't delegate it all.
Yeah, sure.
She does it all herself.
Hey, Bob. Yeah. You handled it. You handled it on your own. You put yourself at great risk dealing with all of that. Bob, did you risk or sacrifice something to further your personal agenda?
Made a personal sacrifice? I don't feel like it. I did make a sacrifice, but it wasn't personal.
You did risk something, which would be your place in the colony by doing murders for protecting the colony.
Yeah, but I think everyone gets one, right?
Well, he got 3. So, but what I mean is, you acted in maintaining the order and harmony of the colony, as you stated was your personal agenda, by dealing with the problem that was sabotaging the vehicles. And you did it swiftly and ruthlessly, but you also know that you are a synth, and killing people is a big no-no for synths. So you risked your own well-being.
Okay.
At least that's my interpretation of it. If you disagree, feel free to.
I again, like, did I do something with violence to pursue my goals? Yes.
Yes.
Risk. I don't
Yeah,
know because he hasn't. Like, there wasn't any marshals. It was just 3 cultists in a room.
You could say the risk is hiding the bodies, though.
That I can see that.
Okay. I'm rooting for you. That's why I'm trying to get you that point.
I appreciate it.
Back to the top. Sarah, did you risk your life for a fellow PC?
No, I was on the fringe of all the dangerous stuff this time again.
Gerald.
So, no.
Same for me. I conflict, but no life at risk.
Gerald, Juniper, other just sound name.
Yeah, I feel like I'm chill.
You chilled today. Rosalinda.
Does the cat count as a PC?
No.
What? Oh, you see,
You also
humanizing
currently don't know where
pet.
currently don't know where that creature is right now, and the fact that something else was in the vents may be concerning.
Yeah, just slightly.
I am having nightmares, and I'm not even asleep yet as to what happened with a face hugger meets that creature and what comes of it.
Beautiful
It's got
things.
wings, y'all.
Only beautiful things.
Bob, did you risk your life for a fellow PC?
No.
No. All right, back to the top. Sarah, did you challenge or stand up to a fellow PC?
I threw shade at Juniper when talking to Gerald.
Yeah, they did.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'll say that worked. You challenged the authority and necessity of Juniper and their position and their innocence to Gerald, so I'll say that flies.
I took that to mean that Sarah thought Rosalinda was beyond help. So
That could be too.
Yeah.
Gerald, did you stand up to any PCs? Challenge or stand up to?
did I? Yes.
For sure.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. That whole conversation about guns and like how important things were. Yep. Okay.
Priorities of concerns.
Mhm.
Juniper, did you challenge or stand up to any of the PCs?
I don't think so. Yeah, I think we were vibing. Yeah, for the most
you
part.
and Gerald
Yeah.
were on the same page most of the day.
Yeah, me and the whole colony are on the same side. It's really just the marshal. All right, let's
Yeah.
Yeah.
The colony is definitely on your side.
exactly.
Nothing to worry
You
about
ain't
there.
getting it. Mm-hmm.
Rosalinda, did you challenge or stand up to anyone, PC wise?
Was refusing to show the box to Gerald until like I had no other toys count, and then
Mhm.
holding the thing up and scaring everybody.
Yeah, I think so. You were very confrontational with Gerald's initial reaction of you needing to calm down and not do this or that. So I think so. And Bob, I feel like I already know the answer, but did you challenge or stand up to anybody?
I
Quite a
think
few
that's
people.
Bob's MO now. That's just like, challenging Sarah, go like, give me all the dirt. Give me the dirt. Incriminate people, please.
Need to get to the bottom of this. All right. Back to the top. Sarah, did you make a panic roll today? Don't think so, right?
Nope.
Gerald,
We did,
did you end up
right? When the thing got
you
pulled
did.
out,
You both had
everybody
to make panic rolls in
Oh,
the
yeah.
bar. Yes. Yeah. Rose forced you both to make panic rolls.
Mm-hmm.
So that answers my next question for Gerald. So yes, Gerald had to roll 1, 2. Juniper, we know that you made a panic roll. Rosalinda, you made several panic rolls. And Bob, you don't make any panic rolls.
Nope.
So we just fast tracked through that one. Back to Sarah. Did you overcome a dangerous event using violent or non-violent means?
I wasn't really in a dangerous event this
No.
session, so
Next week.
no.
Next week. You've been
Right.
sitting out of danger for 2 sessions. I gotta fix that next week.
Me and Sarah have been preparing for a dangerous event,
Listen,
right?
she
The
left
Marines
Isa
showing up
alone,
and shooting
so
everybody.
she left Isa alone. There's a chance for her to come back and save her. So we'll make sure that happens next week. Gerald,
You did go to see her, right? Sarah has
She-
gone to see.
Oh
Isa.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, Isa was in her care before she went to go take the walk. Gerald, did you overcome a dangerous event using violent or non-violent means?
No, not yet.
Juniper, you were in jail. Did you overcome any dangerous events?
I mean, I didn't snap anyone's neck.
Yeah, you didn't kill Brave Star. That wasn't really dangerous.
Well, I didn't kill Victoria either, right? Like, I let them put me in cuffs. I could have smoked them anytime.
You could have stomped on heads 12, 24, 36 more times.
Yeah, all my strength is in my right thigh. Armpit, but not my right leg.
It's a souped-up hydraulic. Rosalinda, did you overcome a dangerous event using violent or non-violent means?
Look, while all of y'all were, having drinks and talking, Rosalinda was living through a horror movie.
Yeah,
I was in jail.
She is Ripley now. She killed a xenomorph with a knife, y'all. Bob, did you overcome a dangerous event using violent or non-violent means?
The issue is resolved.
Yeah. Well, it's an event, so the event was in the hangar. You resolved it by, dropping a heavy machinery on one person and welding two people together, probably.
They got better.
Yeah, they'll recover, don't worry. Back to the top. Sarah, did you make a significant discovery or revelation?
Yes. Yeah, the creepy alien.
Yeah, there's not only are there creepy aliens, but there are creepy aliens in the colony. Gerald, did you make a
and the company's gonna shoot us.
Yeah, the Marines are going to shoot everybody, which we
going to kill
need
you
to prevent.
They're going to kill non-essential employees.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah.
That's basically what Gerald found out was that they are coming. They will be here in 48 hours, and they have to do a clean sweep of the area. Juniper, did you make a significant discovery or revelation? Besides that
I discovered
doesn't like you.
What? He likes me? When did he say he didn't like me?
Probably when he said you were full of shit. And no one.
I thought that was just playful banter. I feel betrayed. Oh, this bitch. Oh. But I think my great discovery, is that the aliens come out of chests. That's the next part of the revolution.
I feel like we should name these things. Maybe chest come-outers.
Bulges. Human bulges.
Chest bulgers.
They always come out like bulges first, so...
We'll call them
chest
loot.
eruptors.
Because loot is also in chests.
Ooh, yeah. Oh, yes, loot! Yeah. That's our captain.
Perfect. Rosalinda, did you make a significant discovery or revelation?
I think so. The whole face hugger in the vent, showing everybody the face hugger.
Yeah.
Quietly telling her friends about her hacking discoveries.
We need to call that creature something as well. I'm thinking face cuddler.
Acid face cuddler.
Yeah.
Handsy hand.
Handsy hands.
Like a little.
Call him alien bad touch. Bob, did you make a significant discovery or revelation?
Cult is bad.
Cult is bad. They break the stuff. And back to the top. Sarah, did you perform an extraordinary action of some kind? No. I gotta get you to do more stuff next week. Yeah, I gotta get you to do more stuff next week. For whatever reason, the last two sessions have just flown by with the amount of great RP everybody's been doing, and then it was just like, oh no, it's 10 minutes until we're done.
We gotta stop it.
We gotta stop it. Stop being so great so that I can give everybody a chance to
next session, we're just eating ramen noodles, awkwardly staring at each other.
That's a good way to spend the next 48 hours in lockdown, just eating chips. Gerald, did you perform an
spill it. Like, she would spill it on everyone and chaos would happen.
chaos ensues. Gerald, extraordinary action of some kind.
I don't think it's extraordinary. Like, he's at the cusp because standing up to authority is not exactly his normal thing, but he's growing.
You do have a gun, though, so when it comes time to stand up to authority, violent revolution, y'all. Juniper's plan is coming to fruition.
Oh, I'm shooting everybody in that cell. You know, panic.
My goal has always been to have Gerald leave his wife for Juniper. All right, that's my number one. So I'm gonna get that ending. Just come with me, Gerald.
Juniper, did you perform any extraordinary actions while in prison?
No. I think
Rosalinda. Oh, sorry. Rosalinda, did you perform an extraordinary action?
I guess killing a I forgot what we're calling it.
1v1 face cuddler.
Yeah.
Face cuddler. With the just with a knife.
Yeah, I think that is what's going to count it as the extraordinary action. You soloed it with a knife.
It was a kitchen knife too, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. You had like a chef's knife, and you went 1v1 with this thing.
Yeah,
bring him on. Let's do
Rosalinda
this.
is the
I'll butter your toast.
Yeah. Need those
I'm glad I didn't say it was a butter knife, because that probably would have gone downhill if it. Bob, did you perform an extraordinary action of some kind?
Would the quick murder of 3 colonists count?
Yes, and what I was thinking is the murder using a power jack, just lowering it onto somebody. That's pretty extraordinary method of execution. And so with that, I already know nobody's earned any money, because it's the under the table money, because everybody technically operates on a salary, but our time frame doesn't move fast enough for you guys to earn that money, so it just doesn't count. That being said, we are finished, and let's raid our friends over at Swindler's Den again, because this is their actual finale. Last week it was their boss fight, but this is the final episode of their 5th edition game. So let's go give them some love, and everybody, say something nice to them for their last episode before their campaign is over.
Yeah.
Literally, say something nice.
Something just nice in the chat. So that's us. Y'all are wonderful. I love you guys, and it needs to be Monday again.